Step by step, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to find a way through this.
We're working really, really hard in the hospitals, our nurses, our techs, all the docs.
It's about staggering when people get it so that the hospitals can cope.
We're going to go through an awful lot of these.
All across Puget Sound, people have been stepping up and donating personal protective equipment.
We stay at work.
For you.
You stay at home for us.
Just know we're all with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctors and nurses.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to your Wednesday afternoon therapy. This is Andrew Moon. So let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious. We have a global audience and we have new guests every week, and I think that is completely awesome. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up that you can hear me okay. Had a little bit of audio problems there last week. But yeah, give me a comment. You can hear me okay. Get all that technical stuff out of the way right off. So tell me where you're watching from, and then let me know you can hear me. And then the other thing, that opening video was an attitude of gratitude, and a lot of people here in the States are reflecting and being thankful, being grateful this week. So I think it's, not just around the holidays, but it's a good idea to do all the time, especially with this year, this dumpster fire of a year with 2020. So again, let me know that you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. Smash that like button, whatever platform you happen to be watching on. But let me know. And those of you who happen to be watching this after the fact, same thing. Let me know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, what you're grateful for. So I'm super happy to have you on the broadcast. Thoy Nguyen from Germany, so welcome. So our first guest from Germany. So thank you so much for hanging out. I think you guys, it's probably get into the evening for you. So I'm super excited that you're hanging out with me in the evening. So welcome Eric Steffi, another repeat guest to the show. So thank you. So thank you so much, for tuning in week in and week out. I know some of you may have to go in the middle of this too. So a shout out to my friend Robert Givens again. another regular viewer of the show, so super happy to have you. He is relaxing on his sofa comfortably in the UK, so hopefully you and your family are safe. So let me know too if you're in the middle of lockdown. We started, the craziness just won't end here in the States with COVID. So, but yeah, Scott Riley, thank you so much. We'll give you an air horn too. Said he can hear everything great, so love that technical stuff. So those of you, it looks like we've got quite a few that have just joined us on the broadcast today. So let us know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from, what you're grateful for, that you can hear me okay. We'll get all that technical stuff before we get rocking and rolling here. So while we're doing that last minute sound check, I just wanted to thank Restream again for sponsoring this week's broadcast. Restream is the software that we use to broadcast out to multiple platforms. Absolutely rock solid product. You could try it out for free. There's a link in the show notes as well. You can also get, I believe it's like $10 in credits. So thank you to Restream for sponsoring the show, and I'm happy to, have, the recognition of vendors in the market for tools that we use. And again, this isn't something that I envisioned as we started out the show back in April. We started this show on April Fool's Day, so thank you so much for watching. And those of you who don't have any idea who I am, if we've just connected through any of the social platforms and we haven't really met in person, which is most of you, unfortunately, with this year, my name's Andrew Moon. I'm the founder of Orange Nomad right here in Columbus, Ohio, and I help turn hustling entrepreneurs into calm, effective, visionary CEOs. And that's what I'm all about, is helping them build calm lives. I help the underdog just like us, the Fortune 5 million. And as I mentioned, I went to see how many broadcasts we've actually done. This is broadcast number 27 this year. And I have absolutely learned a great deal. And I'm honored that those of you who come back every week, that we're providing content, we're providing value, and hopefully, Eric, we haven't sent you too far into therapy. So... but yeah, this is Wednesday therapy. It's to cut up the work week. This show is dedicated. This is the Do What Is Necessary live stream. And I started this a couple weeks after COVID started as a labor of love. It's my way of giving back and encouraging people to be positive and to do what is necessary. This isn't the hustle and grind. This isn't, give everything at the expense of work. This is about doing what is necessary to make you successful in your personal life, successful in your business life. Because what's necessary for me isn't necessary for the next person. It is doing what is absolutely necessary for you. And that's what this show is dedicated 100% about, is creating an absolute calm life, despite, again, the train wreck we see going on around us. So thank you so much. Thori Nguyen, she's saying shout out to Robert. So we've got some folks from Germany and the UK who know each other. So thanks again for tuning in and watching the broadcast this week. Eric's hopefully we haven't sent you into therapy. So let me move these comment windows around. So if you're just joining the show, let us know where you're tuning in from, that you can hear me okay. And then we'll jump right into the core of our content this week is about the two currencies in business. And I just, what kind of got me thinking about that, I came across a video. If you watch my show for any length of time, you'll know that I'm an absolute fan of Simon Sinek. But a video of his popped up in my LinkedIn feed this week, and it really got me thinking about this week, about showing appreciation, about the value, about doing, again, going back to our theme of doing what is necessary in life. So he really touched on it, that to have an infinite view and not to have a finite view of our life, of our business, that there are two core resources at our disposal as business owners and those of us who have the privilege of leading our families, leading companies. There's two core privileges that we have as in that leadership role. So I thought what we would do is just play this quick video clip so you'll know what I'm talking about. Any other Simon Sinek fans, drop that in the comments too. It's actually on my to-do read list for the fourth quarter here, is to reread The Infinite Scale. So let's watch the clip.
The mistake we've made is that we think the only currency of business is money. It's not. There are two currencies, will and resources, in that order. The will of the people and the resources available to continue to help advance the cause. You have to have money. You have to be profitable. It's like having the perfect car. You might have the perfect culture. You might have the most amazing car, but if you have no fuel to make that car go, then you never achieve anything. Money is a finite resource, whether you're getting it from a customer or from an investor, whether you're getting it from a stock market or from other forms of investment. It is finite. It can run out and it can stop coming in. That's why you have to produce good product and good marketing to help keep the resource coming in. It's like drilling. You have to keep drilling or putting up solar panels if you want more energy. You got to have a resource producer. But will of the people is unlimited. And that's where good leadership comes in. And one of the things that's been so interesting, especially during COVID times, which is I think people like money. Money doesn't just sit like this and it doesn't just go like this. Like it's not just a hockey stick. Money goes like this. It can be affected by weather, by politics, by marketing. You maybe have a good product or a bad product, and it goes like this. The goal is to keep the trend up, right? Or at least stable. But the same thing is with will. People have good days, people have bad days. Leaders show up badly and leaders show up well. It's like this. But overall, you want to keep the trend of the will in a positive direction, which is every leader. And remember, leader has nothing to do with rank. Anyone can be a leader at any level. That's the important thing here. This is not just the responsibility of senior leadership. Senior leadership has to go first to model the behavior. That's ideal. But everyone who's showing up to be the leader they wish they had actually helps keep that will up on high. And this is why it's so important for senior leadership to take care of the people in their charge, who are then told to take care of the people in their charge, who are then told to take care of people in their charge. It's like mom and dad taking care of the older kids and asking the older kids to take care of the little kids. It's kind of like that. And then what ends up happening is you have a loving, trusting family. Again, good days, bad days, it all happens. You have ranges of emotion. We are human. But that is the point of will and resources, that we have to invest in will just like we take investment or invest in money.
So I thought that was it's a good sentiment for this week, for this year, for it's good at any times, but never has it been more important than right now. As this stretches on to 8-9 months into COVID, it is grinding on people. And I talk to CEOs in our coaching, on our coaching calls, and it is grinding on people. So if we as leaders are affected by the times that we're living in, our people are too. Our families are too. So that's the responsibility. That's a privilege that we have. It's not all about the money. And that's what he talked about in his book, that it can't be all about the money. People will only stay behind you for the cause. And for us as leaders, this isn't just about writing somebody a paycheck and having that expectation that they're going to do work. And that's really what I like about this is it is about the development of our people. And I think that's the privilege that we have. It's a responsibility, but it's a great privilege that we have, especially if we're business owners. That's our responsibility, is to develop leaders. I liked how he used that analogy too about in a family. That's the expectation that we had. I grew up in a big family. I was the second oldest. So that was the expectation mom and dad had, that we're going to take care of our brothers and sisters. We're going to help them. And it's the same right now. We all need each other. We need that help desperately. And I like how he talked about leadership is not about rank. And that's where, if we're developing leaders inside of our company, it's not all left upon us to solve that problem. But I think it comes down to showing appreciation. And I started the week with a post on LinkedIn about appreciation. ABA. Always be appreciating. And that is the same in your family. That's the same for your business. And, it's sad that people only take the time to really think about the things that they're grateful for and they're thankful for, at least here in the States, around a holiday, around this week in November. But again, this can't be about just this week in November. This absolutely has to be at the core of what we do. That is I love how he used that too. If there's no fuel in the car, that we could have them, infinite resources of money, but if we don't have people, then our business won't do any good. And I think that's really the absolute core of what we are, should be thinking about all the time. So, Scott, thank you so much. He's a Simon Sinek fan as well. He breaks everything down, and that's what I like about it. I'm, back hills country boy. So I like how he breaks it down and just really helps us to think about things in different terms. And it's not about seeing things a certain way or doing business a certain way. And if you watch any of my broadcasts so far this year, that is what it is about. We cannot do business as usual. We can't do life as usual because this isn't usual. And I don't think that there ever will be a return to what was normal prior to 2020. If you agree with that, let me know too in the comments. If you absolutely agree that developing resources, developing leadership is a privilege and responsibility that we have as business owners, put that in the comments. I think this needs to be a wider discussion. And I've got things planned, into 2021 because about leadership and developing, and that starts in the hiring process. How we hire people says a lot about our ability to lead them. And it's about taking the time. And, we've got a great talent pool available right now. And I think, globally, that's the situation. So smash the like button if you agree with this topic this week, or if there's something that you'd like to cover in a future broadcast around leadership and personal development. So, Bruce, thank you so much for joining us. He's a big fan as well. Infinite-minded culture. I covered that, and we did a 4-week session. So if you're interested in that too, I'm thinking about developing a book club for entrepreneurs around that book, and about leadership and the ability to think differently and to do business differently into 2021. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you happen to be watching this from. So. Okay, I'm pretty amped about the next topic because it was funny. Has anybody heard of the situation where Sherwin-Williams fired one of their employees this week? And I think this goes back and dovetails very nicely into our most finite resource, and that is our people. That we only have so much in our people. So this segment is about short-sighted thinking. And this, let me know if you've seen this. A college student was fired this week. He started a TikTok page where he recorded himself paint mixing all kinds of obscure colors and things. But Sherwin-Williams fired him this week, and it was an interesting story. This actually, happened. This is an Ohio University student right here in Ohio. So let me pop this comment up. So Scott definitely agrees. The culture is that our people are empowered to make decisions, and that ties in nicely with this. We hire smart people to be smart, not just for us to tell them what to do. And this story right here exemplifies that in a degree that it blows me away. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, has anybody seen or heard about this story? Put that in the comments too. I can't be the only one that saw this. This kid actually, he's a college kid. He's putting himself through high school working at Sherwin-Williams. And again, he started recording himself one day mixing paint. All of a sudden, it took off. He's getting upwards of, I think one of his videos had over 1 million views. And the short-sighted thinking of Sherwin-Williams, this isn't they made a split decision. This went back and forth. He actually pitched this success that he was having on TikTok to his boss and his regional manager. He actually reached out and tried to get a hold of the marketing person at Sherwin-Williams. Took him months to finally get a hold of him. And the marketing person says, no, he basically turned him down. And then a couple days later, he got a letter saying that he was fired. But I think about, it just baffles me that companies are so short-sighted, with their people, that they obviously hired somebody. He had a passion for it. He wasn't doing anything illegal. but he actually took the creativity, was getting traction with it and getting people to shop at Sherwin-Williams. And the other thing that popped up on the radar of people at Sherwin-Williams is people were requesting certain colors based upon the videos that they were seeing in TikTok. But, the thing of it is no doubt Sherwin-Williams, like a lot of large companies, probably spend millions and billions of dollars every year trying to go viral, trying to understand the social media thing. And they don't realize that the engagement, the virility of a post is probably most likely, it's 10 times more likely to come from your employees. But if we're not encouraging that, we're not encouraging people to be creative. I mean, kudos to this kid. And it's funny because in the post here now, he's buying all of his paint at Lowe's. So if I'm Lowe's, I would be hiring this kid, buying him a paint mixer and setting him up a channel and letting him go. But you can't buy that type of publicity. And they didn't have to spend millions. This is somebody who just had fun at what he was doing. And that's the thing that we need to look at is, do we do that? Or we find ourselves doing that in our own business? That everything has to be by, the rules and regulations, and if it's in a book or handbook, that we don't take into account the people involved. And, making exceptions, for things. But it just blows me away. But it just made me think about, am I short-sighted in the decisions that I make? If the shoe was on the other foot and, I had somebody that was kind of bending the rules or whatever, would I let them do that? Would I give them the creative license to go do that? And I absolutely would. So kudos to him. I'm going to try to reach out to him. I'd love to have him on the show and get the backstory a little bit more on this than what was just in BuzzFeed. But I just think about, again, think about the things that you're doing in your business. Are they short-sighted? Is it because somebody has told you that this is the way you need to do it? Has somebody told you that this is the only way to do business, is in this manner? But I think if this year has taught me anything, that how we've always done things is again, it has lived up to its name of those are the most dangerous words in business. But that's what this story has certainly taught me. So Scott said, yeah, he totally agree with me. We've always done it that way, and that's not how we do things. It's that old school thinking. So again, it goes back to, the finite view of things in business. Business is infinite. There's nobody that can say whether or not you finally win in business. And the sooner we get that through our head, the easier life gets, the easier marketing gets. When you think outside of the creative norms of what everybody else is doing, that's not what this kid was doing. And I think that's amazing. So if you're Lowe's, if you're somebody from Lowe's and you're watching this, hire that kid and have him start mixing paint. You want to go viral, keep feeding that train. Okay, let's move on. Orange Spotlight. It's another, LinkedIn is such an amazing thing. And I connect with a lot of tech companies on LinkedIn. So if you haven't watched the show before, just to give you a backstory, the Orange Spotlight, I like to showcase product, services, but especially people that are doing outside the box creative things, things that they're passionate about, things that are for the good of others. And it's about giving back, moving people forward. But sometimes it's just about making people laugh. And this video came across my LinkedIn feed this week. But I thought it was awesome. And if you recognize, their inspiration for this video, put that in the comments too. So, but it was a commercial that an IT company did, and they posted it online. But again, to go back to creativity, thinking outside the box, I absolutely love this. So I think you'll love it too. Kudos to the guys at Alltech for making that. Absolutely made my day when that popped up in my feed. And yeah, so if you're watching this, guys from Alltech, and kudos to Scott for getting the movie that was in. So good job. That was the best scene in Office Space, when they beat the crap out of that printer. Anybody else has ever had a printer issue? Put that in the comments. If you're watching this show after the fact and you love that video, again, smash that like button, comment on that. I want to give them some love. So a global spotlight to you guys at Alltech. I think they're based in Florida, but absolutely love the creativity. I love the fact that you're not doing the cookie cutter marketing in IT that everybody else is doing. So kudos to you guys for doing something different, for being different, for doing what is necessary. So awesome job. Awesome job. So, okay, this is going to move us to the last segment of our show. And if you have a question about anything we've covered in this week's show, put that in the comments. If you're watching this after the fact, you have a question, please put that in the comments as well, and make sure you tag me, because I might feature it on the show like this next week or the week after, or sometime in the future. So this week's question was one that it was kind of not, some people probably don't know what this is. It says, what are your thoughts on using LinkedIn pods to increase engagement? So just to give you some backstory on what a LinkedIn pod is. This was some algorithm hack that got started a couple years ago where groups of people would agree to like, share, comment on each other's posts. Because one of the things that LinkedIn does is they rank the ability for your posts to be found in that first 20 hours, 24 hours. The first interactions in that 24-hour period of time dictate how many people in your network, how many people outside of your network will see that content. So what you had was some folks that were kind of gaming the system for a while, and that's what they would do. So now there's paid services that you could take advantage of, where if you post something, people from all over the world will like, share, comment on it. So a couple things on this, and I went back and forth. This was somebody who posted this, messaged me through LinkedIn about this, about my thoughts on it. So I thought we'd cover it on the show. My thoughts on using pods. Traditionally, a couple things that I don't like about this is the fake engagement. I like real engagement, like what we have on this show. And that's the thing that has blown me away, is the engagement rate on this show versus anything else that we're doing for marketing is almost 10 times greater than anything else we're doing. So the authenticity and the engagement that we've developed through this show is, I think, that is what's long term. This isn't about gaming an algorithm to get some fake likes and shares. To me, this is about developing relationships, about starting conversations that are real. So first of all, just, that's my first gut check there. Second of all, if you're going to utilize pods, one of the caveats with this, LinkedIn's not stupid. They eventually have figured this out. And if one person in that pod gets flagged from LinkedIn, or one or two people, it basically brings down the engagement on everybody attached to that. So you run the risk of having the reverse effect. Everybody's trying to go viral. We're trying to do all those things, get likes, shares, engagement. But I think do it the right way. And this is what I teach with my LinkedIn coaching is don't go for the fake. Don't go for the cheesy sales tactics of the month for fake engagement, and do it for real. It takes time. Starting relationships takes time. Developing relationships takes time. But I think if you do it the right way, and this is what I've taught from day one, LinkedIn will continue to deliver for you week in and week out. And I have the data to absolutely prove that for myself. But we are in 13 different countries around the world with our LinkedIn training. And this is what it's about, is teaching the core of developing engagement that turns into, eventually at times, clients. And that's what we're all on there to do. So Jane, you're not coming through. So Jane loved that clip as well. So that's my 2 cents on LinkedIn pods and trying to game. And this is the same across any networks. That if you're looking for gaming the system or growth hacks or all of that other stuff, it will only work and take you so long. To me, this is about developing authenticity and about building relationships. That is what it should be about. And I think that's what we need to change, that narrative, that conversation around social media. So that's the end of our show. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out. If you like anything in the show this week, please give me a thumbs up. Make use of those buttons down at the bottom of the screen. But I'm thankful that you spent the time with me this afternoon or this evening, if you're bunking on your couch. But again, this has been a tremendous labor of love for me. This is our 27th episode, and I'm so thankful of folks that tune in week in and week out. So put in the comments too, if you would, what is your number one takeaway from the show? And if you're watching this on the replay, let me know that as well. What is your number one takeaway from the show, or your number one takeaway from this year, period? But if you also have ideas that other topics you'd like for me to cover on the show, I'd love to hear that too. But for me, that's what it's about, is taking that reflection time. A lot of people here in the States have a next 4-day weekend. A lot of people are checking out right now. But I just wanted to say, take that time, and more than ever, take the time that's necessary with your family to be safe, to make good decisions in life, good decisions in business. And if you're interested in joining me with other entrepreneurs around the world in sharing this message, I would be very much honored if you could share this show with somebody else and let them know what we're trying to do here, that we're trying to build a solid group of entrepreneurs, business leaders, go-givers around the world that help each other, and that we're going to need each other very much into the future, more than we ever have. So, Malish, thank you so much for joining us, a new viewer. So thanks for hanging out with us as well. Malish is watching from Sri Lanka. So again, we've got 2 firsts of the show, Germany and Sri Lanka. So I love this show. I love the fact we're reaching a global audience. So please keep sharing it. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. He's thankful for the show. I mean, I am just flabbergasted by how much this show has taken off, how much this community has built. And I'm just about ready to pop the lid on some very cool things that we're doing. And we're going to kind of get momentum here in December, going into January, so that we can make 2021 memorable, more memorable than this year. Because again, we're going to need to think outside the box, do things differently, and rely on our community of entrepreneurs more than we ever have before. And this is about, again, helping members of the Fortune 5 million, the underdogs, just like us. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Again, repeat guest, so thank you so much for hanging out. So again, if you could share this, I want to build more momentum than we have. So please share this episode, share this show with somebody else. We're hoping to use some tools from Restream to be able to alert people ahead of time, where you can set reminders on whatever social platform you happen to be viewing this on. So you can set a reminder to pop back in and watch the show. And again, there's no forms to fill out. That's why I love live broadcasts. This isn't about collecting names or email addresses. This is 100% about giving back to our community. So thanks you so much again. And in the words of the legendary Tim McGraw, always stay humble and kind, and always, 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 always do what is necessary. I'll see you on the next show.